The Andes, a name that echoes with both majesty and menace. For centuries, these towering peaks have stood as silent sentinels, their icy breath a constant reminder of nature's raw power. In 1972, they became the stage for a human drama so profound, so harrowing, it would forever be etched into the annals of survival. This is the story of Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571, a journey that began with youthful exuberance and ended in an unimaginable test of the human spirit. It is a tale immortalized in books and films, a testament to resilience against the most brutal odds. This is the story of Alive. October 13th, 1972, a Friday. On board was a Uruguayan rugby team, the Old Christians Club, along with their families, friends, and supporters. They were bound for a match in Chile, their spirits high, their futures bright. But the mountains had other plans. Amidst treacherous weather and a navigational error, the Fairchild F-227 aircraft clipped a peak. The wings sheared away, the tail section detached, and the fuselage plummeted into the frozen wilderness. The impact was catastrophic. 12 lives were extinguished instantly, their dreams vanishing in a blinding flash of snow and twisted metal. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the groans of the injured and the chilling whisper of the Andean wind. Those who survived the initial impact found themselves in a nightmare. They were stranded, high in the desolate, unforgiving heart of the Andes. The world they knew was gone, replaced by an endless expanse of white. The fuselage, a mangled shell, became their only refuge. Outside, the air was thin, biting, and utterly merciless. Sub-zero temperatures plunged them into a constant battle against hypothermia. They were utterly alone, miles from any civilization, surrounded by towering, impassable peaks. Hope, initially a flickering flame, was quickly threatened by the overwhelming reality of their predicament. The survivors, a mix of young men and women, many barely out of their teens, faced an immediate crisis. There were no supplies, no medical aid, and no way to signal for help. Their world had shrunk to the confines of the broken plain. Shock and grief were pervasive. They tended to the wounded, their hands numb with cold and fear. Every breath was a struggle, every movement an effort against the crushing weight of despair. The environment was a relentless adversary. Blinding snowstorms swept through the valley, burying the fuselage and threatening to suffocate them. The constant threat of avalanches loomed, a silent, deadly promise from the mountains. Their initial sustenance was meager: a few scattered snacks, some chocolate bars, and bottles of wine found amongst the wreckage. These precious morsels were rationed with agonizing care, a desperate attempt to prolong the inevitable. Days bled into weeks. The initial optimism, fueled by the belief that rescue was imminent, began to wane. Search planes flew overhead, but the white fuselage blended seamlessly with the snow, rendering them invisible. The radio, their only link to the outside world, delivered a crushing blow. The search had been called off. They were presumed dead. The realization hit them with the force of a physical blow, stripping away their last vestiges of hope. Starvation became their most immediate and terrifying enemy. The meager rations were long gone. Their bodies, already weakened by cold and injury, began to consume themselves. The specter of death, slow and agonizing, loomed large. It was in this abyss of despair that an unthinkable conversation began. A desperate, horrifying truth emerged. To live, they would have to violate the deepest taboos of humanity. They would have to eat the dead. The decision was not made lightly. It was born of a primal, overwhelming instinct to survive, a raw, unyielding will to live that transcended all societal norms. Each individual grappled with the moral horror, the profound revulsion. But the alternative was certain death. Faced with the stark choice between life and an agonizing demise, the impossible became the only path forward. They prayed for forgiveness, for understanding, as they made the most agonizing choice of their lives. The act itself was a profound violation, a testament to the extreme limits of human endurance. It was a decision born of necessity, not desire, a desperate measure taken by those pushed beyond the brink of human experience. This was not an act of savagery, but of sacrifice. The bodies of their friends, their teammates, became the means by which life could continue. It was a pact with death, made in the name of life. The days that followed were a blur of physical and emotional torment. The cold gnawed at their bones, the hunger still a constant ache, but now a new burden weighed upon their souls, the weight of their choice. Yet, with each passing day, the resolve hardened. They were survivors, bound by an unspeakable secret, united by a shared determination to defy the odds. They would not surrender to the mountains. Weeks turned into months. The initial group of survivors dwindled further, succumbing to injuries, infections, and the relentless cold. Each death was a fresh wound, a reminder of their precarious existence. But with each loss, the will to live for those who remained only intensified. They were living for their fallen comrades, for their families, for the chance to tell their story. They had to find a way out. The idea of self-rescue, once a distant dream, became their singular focus. They knew no one was coming for them. They had to save themselves. Two young men, Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa, emerged as the embodiment of this desperate hope. Nando, driven by the memory of his mother and sister, both lost in the crash, and Roberto, a medical student, possessed an unyielding resolve. They were not mountaineers, but they possessed an indomitable spirit. With makeshift equipment and an almost suicidal courage, they set out into the unknown, aiming to cross the formidable mountain range. Their journey was an epic of human endurance. They faced blinding snow, treacherous ice, and the constant threat of avalanches. Every step was a battle against exhaustion, dehydration, and the crushing weight of the altitude. They climbed for days, pushing their bodies beyond any conceivable limit. They endured freezing nights, their only warmth the shared determination to reach civilization. They were driven by a singular, burning desire to bring rescue to their friends. After 10 days of unimaginable hardship, they saw it, a sign of life, a shepherd. The world they had left behind, the world that had given them up for dead, was finally within reach. Their discovery led to the most incredible rescue operation. On December 22, 1972, 72 days after the crash, the remaining 16 survivors were finally brought home. Their emaciated bodies and haunted eyes told a story that words could barely convey. The world watched in awe and disbelief. The story of the Andes survivors became a global phenomenon, a testament to the extraordinary capacity of the human spirit to endure, to adapt, and to overcome. The Andes plane crash is more than just a story of survival. It is a profound exploration of the human condition. It forces us to confront the darkest corners of necessity and the incredible strength that can emerge from unimaginable suffering. It is a testament to the raw power of the human spirit, its ability to find hope in the face of utter despair. It illustrates the lengths to which people will go, the sacrifices they will make, when faced with the ultimate choice between life and death. The bonds forged in that frozen hell were unbreakable. The survivors became a family, united by shared trauma and an unspoken understanding. Their story highlights the profound importance of human connection, of relying on one another when all else fails. Their unwavering will to live, even when confronted with the most horrific choices, serves as an enduring inspiration. It reminds us that within each of us lies an incredible reservoir of resilience, waiting to be tapped. The Andes crash remains a chilling reminder of life's fragility, of how quickly our world can be turned upside down. But it is also a powerful affirmation of the extraordinary capacity of humanity to endure, to adapt, and to find a way back from the brink. Their story is a beacon for all who face seemingly insurmountable odds. It whispers of courage, of sacrifice, and of the enduring power of hope. It is a story that will forever resonate, a timeless epic of survival against all odds. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. More true survival stories, just like this, coming soon. This is A&F Stories, where courage meets the impossible.